So I don't have to take roll or anything like that, do I? You just take the roll, right?
I do.
Okay, I'm a little rusty here. So, we've got just a couple of bills, three bills on today's agenda. And all three of them we passed out of this committee last year. And they're all pretty straightforward. We had a fourth bill on here, but we realized that it got attached to another bill and it did actually pass. So we took it off. So first on our agenda is House Bill 63, Representative Noel Williams, and it's LC 520174 is what I have. Representative Williams, is that what you have?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members, for hearing me today. This is everyone says this is a simple bill. Well, it's basically a simple bill. It gives claims experience to the companies, to the employers for groups that they have health insurance on group insurance for 20 up to 99. Currently, if you have 100 or more employees that are covered on a health insurance plan, you as the insurance agent or you as the employer, you get your claims information 2 months out when you get your renewal. In the meantime, if you're level funded or self-funded, you get that claims experience. But if you're fully insured right now and you have less than 100 covered employees on the plan, you're at the mercy of either GRX, which they take the drug and the pharmacy costs and they try to calculate a premium, and or the most fluid way to do it is have each employee fill out a health statement. A lot of times those health statements that get completed, they're not always accurate. Sometimes they even ask the HR director to answer a question: have you had any claims over $10,000 in the past year? Well, by law, he's not supposed to know that, with HIPAA and privacy. And if he does know it, I'm not so sure he or she are going to tell the insurance company that, because it's going to hurt them on their ratings, because it's all based on ratings. So what this law simply does is just ask the insurance companies, the Blue Crosses, the United Healthcares, the Aetnas, the Cignas of the world, give us your claims experience on any group that has 20 or more employees. You send it to the agent and you send it to the employer 60 or 90 days out before renewal. This passed the House overwhelmingly. Mr. Chairman, it came through this committee and passed overwhelmingly, and we just got caught in the crunch on the last day.
Okay. Mr. Williams, thank you, Representative. Tell us how this will potentially help Georgia small businesses.
Well, I think it'll free up a lot of time for small businesses, because the last thing they want to do is have someone like me or whomever in there passing out this information to their employees taking time away from their job to complete these statements. Well, that information, the insurance company has it, and all the insurance company has to do is hit a button and send that information to the employer.
Would this not allow you as a broker to possibly offer them additional additional things to consider
In a more timely fashion.
Might save them on their premium?
Yes. Well, it's going to help the brokers, it's going to help the employers, and it's going to help the employees. I've had groups before that have filled out these statements. They didn't fill them out correctly. I had someone that went to Mayo that had some issues with their brain, and they had migraine headaches and didn't disclose that. The insurance company came in and said, hey, we're not covering that. But that was just the guy didn't mean to not say that. He just didn't say about his migraines. So this protects everyone. And it makes it more fair for the insurance companies, because you don't have this other insurance company that might get something crazy that's not complete. The information, the facts aren't there. So this makes it a level playing field for everybody.
And it's already allowed for 51 and up, or required.
Well, it's, it was struck through, but there's nowhere we have seen that. All groups are 100 and above, but there are other states that have gone to this model, what we're producing here, and it has worked well. The insurance companies are for it. I have not had any insurance carrier tell me they did not like this after we explained it, and the department is fine with it.
All right, and confidentiality, this is confidential information that the agent would be duty bound to
Just like it
any
is
other.
now. And it's probably going, not probably, it will help in confidentiality, because only people seeing it are the HR director or the owner for the group and the insurance agent.
Okay. All right, we've got a few questions. Mike two, is that Senator Lucas?
No, it's just me. Mike three's out.
Okay.
Representative Williams, what's the magic in the number 20?
Most small groups we see, it's easy to get them just to answer, and under 20, they can just base it off zip code and date of birth.
This is 20 and
20 and above.
and above.
That's correct.
So you're saying if we're talking about 15?
If we're talking about 15, you just get a census and they'll send you the rates.
Okay.
And if they want to be level funded, which I doubt they do, it's not hard to get 15 applications completed. But we just thought 20 and above would be the best way to handle it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I am not remembering this very clearly from last year, which is not surprising, but the question I have is about, back to the confidentiality part.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this aggregate data that's submitted, or is it individual data? Is
Well,
there
a lot
any
of-
way they can exclude an individual?
You can't exclude an individual on group health insurance. You can have a laser on self-funded plans. And when I say laser, if you have a specific deductible of $100,000, you might have a laser on a said person for $50,000. So the group is going to be responsible for that $150,000 for that one person. But on fully insured, no one can be excluded.
Thank you.
Vice Chairman Harvin.
Thank you, Representative Williams. Question I did not see in here in pulling these.
And loss ratios,
Lo-
we already get that.
You already get that?
Yes, sir. We
But-
already get the loss ratios, but a lot of times they want to know, well, so-and-so was a diabetic, they're done now, or so-and-so had these claims. Unless you go back and
Right.
see that employee and get all that information, which a lot of times it's hard to get that information from them.
Right. And the guys do not know their wife's history. I
And
can
they don't know
promise
the
you that.
medicine they're
Right.
taking, and
Right. Can you do this with the reports? And I don't see anything in the bill itself. It would not name the individual, but let's say you had 4 pregnancies on a group that's 20. You've got, a higher ratio because you have younger females having babies, that type of thing. This will not just give you a bottom line.
it's going to say, it's going to have the person, it's going to have the condition, it's going
Okay.
to have their claims, and
Okay.
it's going to
Good.
have what's going forward.
Right. 'Cause
So the
some of
insurance
the-
company will know.
Right. Because some things are not going to reoccur, and that's where you need to know it from a shock loss standpoint and what's going on, especially in partially self-funded. You got to know that.
Correct.
Okay.
The
Very good.
gentleman knows what he speaks.
I understand. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vice Chairman, you used the example pregnancy, and then you said some things won't reoccur. How many children do you have? And how many grandchildren?
Right now, I have 6 children and 11 grandchildren. Wow.
Okay.
And they did reoccur. You want to know about pregnancy, right?
Well, I get your Christmas card, and you got a beautiful family. A large, beautiful family. All right. Senator Merritt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do the disclosure requirements, will it affect like the competitive market? Like, will the larger insurers find it easier to comply than maybe like our smaller?
Well, we only have basically 4 to 5 insurance companies left in Georgia fully insured. You have Blue Cross, you have Aetna, you have Cigna, and you have United Healthcare. So, I mean, they're huge. Yeah.
All right. Any further questions? Any further questions? What's the will of the committee? Got a move to pass by, all right, so we'll do that next, I think. Move to pass. Second, Senator Harbison. All right, we need to, we need somebody to offer an amendment for the date on line 44. You propose.
July 1st, 2024, if that's suitable to the chairman.
Got a motion to change the date to 2024 on line 44, the year. And got a second. And we vote on the amendment first. All right, any discussion on the amendment? All in favor of the amendment, raise your hand. Any opposed, like sign. All right, the amendment passed unanimously. Now we got a motion and a second for the bill as amended on the, before you. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, like sign. All right, it passed unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, members.
Good luck and, Senate rules.
Thank you. I'm sure I need it.
Yeah, who's carrying it?
Who would like to carry it? Randy, would you? Mr. Harbour, would you like to carry it? Thank you.
All right,
Thank y'all for your time.
thank you. Okay, next, is Representative Gamble here yet? Think he had a little bit of a conflict. Let's go on to, okay. We'll just go ahead to House Bill 362. Thank you, Senator Robertson, but I will give him a little more time. Representative Mathiak, tell us about House Bill 362 again, please. And Aubrey, introduce yourself, please, to the, or if you're gonna speak. Well, for the record, whoever's taking minutes, just tell us.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Aubrey Valance, Georgia Chiropractic Association General Counsel.
Thank you. Go ahead, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you for allowing me to come back. This was a bill from last session, just ran out of time. What this bill does is allow hospitals, doctors' offices, clinics to see the transparency of a bill that has been sent into an insurance company and then where the fees were paid, how much the fees were. It's a transparency bill so that when our patients come to us and say, well, you were paid X amount, here's my EOB, and then our staff has an EOB that says something different, then we have a way to challenge it, basically.
Representative Mathiak, I read this the other day trying to get prepared, and I thought maybe it had more to do with when there was an accident or a car wreck or insurance, bodily injury insurance claim. Does it relate to that too?
There's
or-
some, yes, there is some of that in there, but the major thing was when we pay taxes on the money that's collected in our facilities, that's what we were trying to have some transparency in there.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions on this? Wait, let me, hang on.
I'm sorry.
All right, Mike 12,
That's me. He's
11.
EOB.
Yes, sir. Explanation of benefits. When you have a policy that, like our Blue Cross policy through the state, every time you go to the doctor, you should be getting an explanation of benefits as to what your facility, your doctor's office, hospital has sent into your insurance company.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Senator Robertson, do you have a question?
No, sir. My colleague from Muskogee County asked the question I was.
All right. Senator Cowser?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm reading this act kind of on the fly here as we go, but it's sort of built into a section of the code that allows you to recover subrogation basically if a third party has paid the damages as if in a lawsuit or something. How does this apply to that? Because I can see this kind of slowing down the settlement process of lawsuits if you're interjecting your claims in there. We gave y'all liens last year against a settlement. That ought to take care of your concerns of getting recovered. But this makes me wonder, is it
Yes.
going to mix up the deal there?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to have counsel
Okay.
answer that so that you'll get a real answer, not a.
Senator, Legislative Council felt it best fit into the subrogation section. Was not our suggestion. The subrogation came about years ago. Roy Barnes at that time dropped it on the floor of the House. And the legislative council, we met with them, they said this is the best place that it fits. But and going back to the chairman's comment earlier, where we're gonna see this a lot is where the insurance company receives a bill from Dr. Mathiak, and they write a check that goes to the policyholder, the insured, and the attorney has an assignment of the benefits. So we never see what is paid. We don't know how much is paid. We know what the bill is. It's not going to affect the lien in any way. It's just that now we will see that they wrote a check on a bill that we sent for $3,000, but the check was only for $2,000, and it went to the patient or to the attorney, and we don't know what it was. And we have doctors that get 1099s for that amount, and they said, I didn't get that amount. It went to the patient. And it's just so that we can see what went out from the insurance company. That's the only thing it has to do.
I follow up.
Yes, sir. And we can't hear you, Chairman.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so why don't you just get an assignment of benefits from your patient and you submit the bill to we're talking about health insurance? Submit it to them and then they'll pay you directly, and you don't even have anything to ask about anymore.
We would agree it should work that way, but it doesn't. This is normally on med pay, as accidents, as you said, with car accidents. And what happens, we always submit an assignment of benefits, but the lawyer's assignment of benefits trumps our assignment of benefits, and the check is sent either to the lawyer or to the patient and not to us. We always have an assignment of benefits executed. But whether it's right or not, when the lawyer sends that assignment of benefits, that check goes to either the patient or the lawyer, and we don't know exactly how much is paid. Settlement time comes around, and we see that it still doesn't show on the settlement sheet because we don't know exactly how much they paid. We know what we billed, but we don't know what the insurance company paid. And this applies to all providers, not just chiropractors. And they'll be able to simply see this is how much was paid on this claim. That's all it does. It doesn't provide a lien for it. It doesn't provide a method for recovering it. It just says the insurance company paid X amount of dollars on this claim.
One final question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So is it just medical payments that you're worried about? If so, I think this could be much more narrowly tailored to where you just dealt with that.
It's generally going to be on med pay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Aubrey, it does not appear to me in here, my reading of it, that it confers any other rights to the provider except if they they have to request the information in writing, and they had the healthcare, the insurance company has to provide them with written response in 30 days of what was paid out.
That's exactly correct, Mr. Chairman. No new rights, no new liabilities, no new exposure. It's just we will know how much was paid out if we request it in writing within 30 days. That's it. Nothing else.
Yes, sir.
What I'm assuming is happening, you're getting a 1099, it does not match the books that you have, that's what's going on. This simply is you're asking for the details of the 1099 so you understand who owes what, if there's any
Yes,
balance
sir.
outstanding. That's all
We
it
would
is.
know how much was paid then, and now we don't.
Right, but this written amount, you write them and they answer you in 30 days. That's all.
And that's all it
That's all
does.
it is.
No other rights, no other responsibilities, no causes of action are created.
Understood how that works. Thank you.
All right. What is the will, any more questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion. Move to pass, Senator Harbison. Second, Senator Merritt. Further discussion? Is there any dates in here, Vance? Okay. All right, all those in favor, raise your hand, please. All right, those opposed, like sign. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2. It passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Members
Mr.
of the
Chairman.
All right, who's gonna carry this?
I was kind of hoping that you would.
Okay.
Uh,
Somebody else volunteer?
Senator Harbin, would you take it? Thank you. I-
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I don't see Representative Gamble yet, so Senator Robertson, do you want to cover 279 for him?
Yes, sir. See if my three's working. Okay, it is. Okay. I've carried this the last 2 years for him. All this is it allows insurers to give discounted rates to individuals who use fortified construction on any type of building. In other words, fortified construction is where you use heavier duty materials, either residential or commercial. They use certain anchors. They use a different amount of concrete. It makes them more weatherproof, if you will. It's especially beneficial in South Georgia where there may be a lot of hurricanes, or in Central Georgia where tornadoes tend to come through. It's a benefit to the insurance company. It's a federally recognized construction model, and this allows our insurance carriers to offer discounted rates, and it gives them a good return on investment. Because they won't be paying out near as heavy of claims. This is being used all over the country, especially in areas like Florida and out in Kansas and everywhere where they have a lot of weather incidents.
All right, any questions for Senator Robertson? Anybody, we failed to put out and this is on me now, failed to put out sign-up sheets. Does anybody from the industry want to speak to this? We are and Senator Harbin will attest to this, we're in about as hard a property market as I've ever seen in 28 years. There's Representative Gamble. Come to the mic, Representative Gamble, if you don't mind. Senator Robertson did a really great job explaining your bill, but now we're having some discussion. And as I was saying, I was opening it up to see if anybody from the industry wanted to speak. And then, all right, so I see Mr. Bobby Potter. I think he represents State Farm Insurance Company, among others, and you're welcome to come to the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
To Representative Gamble, State Farm has been supportive of this bill, continues to be supportive. It sort of has lost its way for some reason toward the end of the session, but all those things that Senator Robertson said, I agree with. This is probably one that's good for everybody.
Based on and I know you represent State Farm, not the whole industry, isn't this already pretty common practice?
Yes, sir. And nothing is really mandated by this. They have the rates or premiums would still have to be actuarially sound, but it makes sense if there's a building that can withstand heavier winds and hurricanes, then it's less likely to have damage.
And this fortified, I've seen it called fortified construction, is the term I've seen. Is that a building code standard that is universal, or the state of Georgia has adopted, or does each carrier make that determination on their own, what they consider fortified?
Mr. Chairman, it's a national standard. There's actually a manual that anybody can go and download, construction, whatever, but it lays out each fortified standard, whether it's foundation walls or roof or anything, but these are standards adopted federally or nationally by the construction community and the insurance community.
Yeah, it's the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety, IBHS, that has developed these standards that they build that is classified as fortified.
And it's not real common in Georgia to see fortified construction, at least not in middle Georgia. I've never seen it, actually. But would you speak to that? I mean, it's probably a trend that we'll see in the future, but.
That's right. It's not as prevalent yet, but we hope that just by our mere conversation about it, that it will raise awareness to folks around our state that it is something to look at. I will remind the committee that I went over to a home in Floyd County, which is in the county next to me, that was built to a fortified standard. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, very nice home. But that was the first residential property that I had seen that was built to this standard, and it was pretty impressive. And so that area is very prone to tornadoes, and that was why they chose Floyd County for that home that was constructed at the time. I know we've got the folks here from the Georgia Ready Mix Concrete Association. I'm not sure if they spoke to the bill, and I'm sure they would be happy to share anything about it that you had a question about, but that's who I was with when we toured the home. Of course, the thought is in the coastal parts of our state where there's a lot of hurricanes and winds in those areas, that if we incentivize this and people build to this standard, that it could help to bring insurers back into some of those areas where they might have pulled out because of the higher risk. So it's not mandating anything, it's completely elective. And we're just trying to raise awareness that it is an option for some folks to consider.
Couple things, then I'll turn it over to the committee for questions. It looks like to me we probably need to change the date on line 27. And so if you'd be, okay, 2735, that's it. So we'll need an amendment to do that. And the other question, Representative Gamble, it does look to me like it's a shall on line 27. That they shall provide rates. Do you know if they're already, like, is there already like a ISO formula or rate that they can just, carriers can just adopt in their rate filing for this?
That is my understanding, and again, the incentive that they choose to offer is again determined by them. So they are not required to offer any one specific incentive. And I think to what Bobby said a minute ago, it is just only natural to think that it will happen, because obviously if you reduce the risk or mitigate the loss or lower that loss potential, then you're going to probably see a benefit there in and of itself.
Okay. Questions from the committee? Senator Harvin, you got any concerns or anything?
No concerns. I've got 2 properties that we have that are already what I call fortified in that respect. The companies have discounts, but it is not as formal as what we're doing here and filing to the standards that have already been met. I think with where the market is today, this is encouraging companies to reduce a discount to the owner. He has spent, I will tell you, a lot of money because he's building a castle, if you will, versus a shack. And we've got one that's very large, and he was contemplating not carrying any insurance at all. He says you can't burn it down, and you can't tear it down. So, but I think that's an easy bill to justify for the companies what's going on. Good idea, and you might sell some more concrete.
Thank you. Or wood.
Or wood.
Yep.
Yeah, the mass timber, maybe. All right, what's the will of the committee on House Bill 279 LC 520197?
Is this the appropriate time,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chairman? Okay, move to pass.
Got a motion, do pass, second. Senator Harbison, any further discussion? We do need an amendment on the dates.
Move to amend.
All right. Is your motion to move to amend line 27 to March 1, 2025 instead of 2024, and line 35 changing 2024 to 2025?
That's true.
Okay, I thought it was. All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor of the amendment? Say aye. Yeah. All right, unanimous. Now, we got a motion and a second. All in favor of passage of the bill as amended, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, pass unanimous.
Thank
Who
you.
would you like to carry? Oh, Senator Robertson, I guess, maybe. Of
That's-
course, he screwed it up the last two times, sounds like.
Well, I didn't realize we didn't change the Senate rules, so the governor's 4-liter from the House could just show up at the meetings whenever they felt.
Well, so if it matters, Chairman, I was with Chairman Hickman in the Senate Higher Ed Committee on another bill, and I'm very sorry that it worked out for me not to be here as timely as I would have preferred, so,
Well,
yeah, thank you.
I was
Uh-oh.
gonna give you a lot of deference and slack because of the great prayer you gave us yesterday. You did a really good
Thank
job,
you.
so.
Thank you.
All right. Senator Robertson, seriously, I guess you are gonna carry this.
Seriously, Chairman, I am.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Any other business to come before the committee? If not, we stand adjourned. Thank you.